gay rights and the terrible harm committed against the young and vulnerable. And because of this, he is the Liberals' #1 enemy. Now, this isn't normal. The hatred of Tommy by left Liberals is pathological. He doesn't talk about a hatred of the other. He simply points out the all too predictable and horrific results about the greatest lie of modern times, which is that a barbaric 7th century ideology spawned by a murderer, warlord, anti-democratic supremacist and a sex slaver is always going to run into conflict with 21st century liberal democracies. And the monstrous lies spewed out by the British establishment are made all the more hideous in hindsight because the government, police and social workers have known about Muslim gang rape for over 2 decades, but they brushed over the shattered lives of innocent little children in order to avoid any accusation of racism, which is now supposedly the greatest crime in the history of humankind. I suppose the police and government presumably feel some degree of shame for their part, their complicit part, in the gang rape of native British girls, but not as much as they should. And the reason they are persecuting Tommy now is simply because they feel they've done their little bit over Rotherham, which they'd now like to gloss over, put to bed and move on. But it wasn't just Rotherham. It was countless towns and cities across Britain, and it's still going on now, today. And for a full forensic analysis of how many towns have and still are suffering from this epidemic of Muslim gang rape, I recommend you read a book by Peter McLaughlin called Easy Meat, which presumably has made Peter an enemy of the state as well. The government and the police do not want us to know about this. They fear the truth. They fear they might be forced into confronting the horrific reality of Islam, and they're so fearful they persecute the truth-tellers instead. Tommy's bail condition is that he ceases exposing the truth, that he stops filming alleged gang rapists as they arrive at courts with monotonous regularity up and down this once civilised country. And will the police arrest BBC journalists filming the latest footballer accused of rape as he enters or leaves court? Well, of course they won't. There is no longer equality before the law in Britain, and look at the speed